A very good morning to all of you dear students. Welcome to all of you to today's English class. Today we are going to read the first chapter, first prose, that is My Greatest Olympic Prize, and this is written by Jesse Owens. Okay, so now let's start the chapter. Here Jesse Owens, his complete name is James Cleveland Owens, has taken birth in the year, he took birth in the year 1913 and died in the year 1980. And he was an American athlete, and he did win in the 1936 Berlin Olympics. At the same time, he did win 4 gold medals. How many gold medals? 4 gold medals. Okay, and now this is actually the autobiography of Jesse Owens, and here he has experienced, or he has written everything which is related to 1936 Berlin Olympics. So now let's start it. Look, initially it is mentioned it was the summer of 1936 and the aim of Jesse Owens was to go to Germany in order to take part in Olympic Games. The Olympic Games was being held in Berlin because Adolf Hitler childishly insisted means to put emphasis, that his performers were members of a master race. Nationalistic feelings were at an all-time high. Listen, what was the scenario at that time? When this 1936 Berlin Olympic was taking place, at the time Hitler was the ruler of Germany, and he had told one thing, and what is that? His performers were belonging to master race. What do you mean by master race? Master race is referring to the race of Hitler, that is the Nazis or the Aryans, and according to Hitler, his race was superior to all other races in the world, and he was thinking that his performers could bag almost all the gold medals in the Olympic game. I was not worried, but Jesse Owens was not worried, and he was a Negro, he belongs to America. About all this, I trained, sweated and disciplined myself for 6 years with the games in mind. And why Jesse Owens was not worried? Because since the last 6 years he was trained, he had sweated, and what was there in his brain? The game was present in his brain, that's why he was not at all worried. And when he was going, at that time flight journey was not there, so he was going by boat. While I was going over on the boat, all I could think about was taking home 1 or 2 of those gold medals. I had my eyes especially on the long jump. And when Jesse Owens was taking the journey to go to Germany, at the time what was he thinking? He was thinking to bring 2 to 3 gold medals to his home country, and his eyes were particularly fixed on long jump. Because, and there was also a reason behind it why he was particularly interested in long jump. A year before, as a university student, I would set the world record of 26 feet 8.14 inches. And as a university student, he had set the world record. He jumped 8 feet 1.14 inches, and this was a world record. Everyone kind of expected me to win that Olympic event hands down means very easily. And everyone who knew Jesse Owens, they were thinking that Jesse Owens, he could win the long jump without any difficulty. Easily he can get the gold medal, especially in the long jump. I was in for a surprise, but when he reached there in Berlin, he was completely surprised, he was stunned, something was there. When the time came for the long jump trial, I was startled means surprised, to see a tall boy hitting the pit means the ground, hitting the pit at almost 26 feet on his practice leaves. And when there was the time for the trial, Jesse Owens was surprised. Why, what had happened? Because there was a long boy, tall boy, German boy, and in the practice leap only he was able to jump 26 feet, and this was the world record of Jesse Owens. He turned out to be a German named Lars Lang, and who was that boy? That tall boy was a German, and his name was Lars Lang. Lars Lang was the tall German athlete, and he was the competitor of Jesse Owens. I was told, and from some source, Jesse Owens got to know that I was told that Hitler had kept him under wrap, means under cover, under special protection, under special care, evidently hoping he would win the jump. And Lars Long was under the care of Hitler because Hitler was thinking that Lars Long could win in the Olympic, means special in the long jump without any difficulty. That's why special care was being given to Lars Long from Hitler. I supposed that if Long won, it would add some new support to the Nazis' Aryan superiority theory. What do you mean by Aryan superiority theory? It means the theory that the Germans and who are the Aryans, they are the superior race from all other people, means the Aryans are the superior race. And something was running in the brain of Jesse Owens, and he was thinking that if Lars Long would win, then what will happen? It will add something extra to Aryan supremacy theory. And after all, I am a Negro, a little hot under the collar, means little bit angry. About Hitler ways, I determined to go out there and really show der Führer means the rulers, and his master race who was superior and who was not. And when Jesse Owens got to know that Lars Long was under the care of Hitler and all were thinking that he could win the long jump in the Olympics and he could bring the gold medal to his country, Jesse Owens got terrified and he thought that I will go there, I will show who is the owner and who is not, who can win, not owner, winner, who is the winner and who is not. Okay, this is being thought by Jesse Owens, and he wanted to prove that Aryans are not the superior race, all other people in the world they are the superior, means everyone is superior in their own concern, in their own talent. Okay, so with this unit 1 is over. So unit 1 is all about Jesse Owens' journey to Germany in order to participate in the Olympic Games, and why he was confident that he could win the long jump, and why he was startled when he did see Lars Long, what was his reaction. Okay, and finally Jesse Owens wished to take revenge, means he wanted to prove that Aryans are not the superior race, everyone is superior in this world. Did you understand? Now let us go to unit number 2. So here it is all about the anger of an athlete, and as we know, Jesse Owens had been to Germany and he wanted to bring the gold medal, especially in long jump, but he was not able to do so because there was Lars Long. An angry athlete is an athlete who will make mistakes, as any coach will tell you. I was no exception, and here Jesse Owens is speaking that an angry athlete is an athlete who can make mistakes, and I was no exception, I was also making mistakes. Okay, it means here Jesse Owens was able to, he was accepting his own fault. On the first of my 3 qualifying jumps, I leapt from several inches beyond the take-off board for a no jump, and on the first leaps, this was the take-off board and he was jumping from here, and it was a, he was jumping from here and it was a no jump. He crossed the boundary line and started jumping, that's why the problem was there. On the second jump, I was even worse, and the first jump, this was the take-off board, he has to jump in this direction and he jumped from here. So it was a no jump, and the second one was also quite worse. Did I come 3000 miles? 1 mile is 1.6 kilometer. And then Jesse Owens is thinking that did I come 3000 miles to fail in the trials? I thought bitterly. To fail in the trials and make a fool of myself. Did I come 3000 miles to face all these things? Did I come 3000 miles in order to fail in the trials only? Walking a few yards from the pit, I kicked disgustedly at the ground, and then he was walking. Suddenly he kicked the ground because he was disgusted. He was angry. Suddenly I felt a hand on my shoulder, and suddenly he felt someone is patting on his shoulder. Suddenly he felt a hand on his shoulder. I turned to look into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German long jumper, and when he turned, he noticed that the blue-eyed long jumper from Germany, he had easily qualified for the finals on his first attempt, and without any difficulty he jumped. He qualified for the final. He offered me a firm handshake, then a strong, means a good handshake was being offered by Lars Long to Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens didn't do it first. Lars Long just offered, come on, okay, hello. like this. Just Los Long did it. Jesse Owens, I am Los Long. I don't think we have made. He spoke English well, though with a German twist to it. And he was a German. He was unable to speak English properly. But still, he was speaking very good English with a German twist in it. Means little bit, pronunciation will be little bit different. It depends on the country, on the religion, not on the religion. It depends on the country and the area to which you are belonging to. Okay. So, here he is speaking. Jesse Owens, I am Los Long. Who is introducing? Los Long is introducing himself to Jesse Owens. Glad to meet you, I sighed. Then trying to hide my nervousness, I added, how are you? Then Jesse Owens is speaking, yes, glad to meet you. And Jesse Owens was trying to hide his nervousness and asked, how are you? I am fine. The question is, how are you? And Los Long said, I am fine. But the question is, how are you? What do you mean? I asked. And the truth was known to Jesse Owens. Then he said, what do you mean? Something must be eating you. He said, proud the way foreigners are vain, they have mastered a bit of American slang. Here slang is not the slang, here slang is referring to American language. Okay. So, then Los Long is speaking to Jesse Owens, no, something must be eating you. And he was speaking quite happily, quite proudly, because even he was also able to speak good English. You should be able to qualify with your eyes closed. Then Los Long is speaking. You should close your eyes while jumping, then you can definitely qualify in the trials. Believe me, I know it. And who is speaking? Los Long is speaking. Trust me. Believe me, I know it. Look, here let me tell you one thing. Jesse Owens, Los Long, they are two rivals. But still, Los Long is such a person. Look, Jesse Owens was having hatredness for Los Long. But Los Long was trying to help Jesse Owens. Los Long was trying to eradicate the fear, the nervousness of Jesse Owens. For the next few minutes, we talked together. I didn't tell Los Long what was hitting me, but he seemed to understand my anger, and he took pains to reassure me. And for few hours, next few minutes, Jesse Owens and Los Long, they were having a conversation. But Jesse Owens didn't speak Los Long. He didn't disclose the secret, what was hitting him up. But Los Long was easily able to understand what was the problem with Jesse Owens. Although he had been schooled in the Nazi youth movement, he didn't believe in the Aryan supremacy business any more than I did. Even when Los Long was schooled in the Nazi youth movement, still he didn't trust in all this Aryan supremacy theory. But Jesse Owens was having firm belief, strong belief on this Aryan supremacy theory. We laughed over the fact that he really looked the part, and then when they talked, they laughed. Who? Jesse Owens and Los Long. They did laugh over the talk that Jesse Owens must have told to Los Long, you are just exactly looking like the Aryan, the perfect product of Aryan supremacy theory. And all then inch taller than I, he was quite lean, muscular frame, clear blue eyes, fair hair and strikingly handsome face. Okay, this is the physical appearance of Los Long. Los Long was having a strikingly handsome face. He was fair, blue eyes and lean body, muscular frame. Finally, seeing that I had calmed down somewhat, he pointed to the taker board, and after talking to Jesse Owens, Los Long noticed that Jesse Owens had been calmed down. He was now calm and quiet. Then he pointed to the taker board. Look, he said. Why don't you draw a line few inches at the back of the board? And what was the advice given by Los Long? He told that if this is the taker board, you just draw a line few inches back the taker board. You will be sure not to foul, and you certainly ought to jump far enough to qualify, and definitely it's not going to be foul, and you can jump more than you desire. What does it matter if you are not first in the trial? Tomorrow is what counts. Then he is speaking, it is not important. Even when you are not first in the trial, it's not too much important, because tomorrow is the most important day, and tomorrow we have to play in the finals. So trial is not at all important. Who is speaking? Los Long is speaking to Jesse Owens. Suddenly all the tension seemed to ebb out, means eradicate, out of my body as the truth of what he said hit me. Suddenly Jesse Owens realized that now he is tension free. Sometimes whenever you are also worried and if you are speaking all these things to your friend or to one of your family members, you are also feeling relaxed, you are also feeling cool. Likewise, Jesse Owens was also feeling relaxed because he has told everything. Means whatever is being spoken by Lois Long, Jesse Owens was 100% affected and inspired by the words. Confident, with much confidence, I drew a line, a full foot. He didn't take some inches, 1 feet. He drew a line behind the board and proceeded to jump from there. I qualified with almost a foot to spare. Then I draw a line with 1 foot distance and then jump, and this was the extra distance that he did cover. Okay. So, likewise he was able to qualify in the trials also. So, here it is mentioned regarding the classic conversation in between Jesse Owens and Lois Long, and how Lois Long took the pain to reassure or to calm down Jesse Owens, and what is the greatest enemy of an angry athlete is also mentioned, and by listening to the good advice of Lois Long, Jesse Owens was able to qualify, and Lois Long also told him that that day is not important, final is what counts. Now, let us go to unit number 3. So, by listening the advice of Lois Long, Jesse Owens was able to jump with 1 foot spare. Then what happened? He did well. That night he walked over to Lois Long's room in the Olympic Village to thank him, and on that particular night he went to meet Lois Long in order to express his gratitude, to speak thank you. I knew that if it had not been for him, I probably would not be jumping in the finals the following day, and it was known to Jesse Owens that it is because of Lois Long only he is going to jump in the final, otherwise he would have never ever been able to jump in the final. We sat in his quarters and talked for 2 hours, and for 2 hours Jesse Owens and Lois Long did gossip about track and field, ourselves, the world situation, and dozen of other things. And what did they discuss? They did discuss on the track, on the field, on the world situation, and a dozen of other things they did discuss. It means everything that they did discuss in 2 hours. When I finally got up to leave, we both knew that a real friendship had been formed, and when Jesse Owens stood to leave the place, he realized that there is a genuine friendship had been established in between Jesse Owens and Lois Long. Who realized it? Jesse Owens realized it. Not only Jesse Owens, Lois Long also realized it. Lois would go out to the field the next day trying to beat me if he could. But the truth was, Lois Long is going to the ground, and he will do his peak performance, will do his best performance, and he will try his level best to defeat Jesse Owens. But I knew that he wanted me to do my best, even if that meant my winning. But it was also known, listen, Jesse Owens knew that the next day Lois Long is going to do his best performance. He is going to defeat Jesse Owens. But at the same time, it was also known to him that Lois Long will wish that Jesse Owens should do his best performance, even when it means he will defeat, this person will win. It means this type of friendship that Lois Long was having with Jesse Owens. As it turned out, Lois broke his own past record, and as a result, Lois Long broke his own record. In doing so, he pushed me on a peak performance. Why? Why Jesse Owens was being pushed to a peak performance? Because Lois Long broke his own record. He just crossed a large area. That's why Jesse Owens had to do his best. I remember that at that instant, I landed from my final jump, the one which set the Olympic record, 26 feet 5.14 inches. He was at my side, and Jesse Owens here is speaking that he could remember when he was landing, jump started, take up, landing. Okay, when he was landing, he could see, he could visualize that Lois Long was standing by the side and congratulating me. And what was Lois Long doing? He was congratulating Jesse Owens because Jesse Owens did win the gold medal. Despite the fact that Hitler glared at us from the stands not 100 yards away, and what was the condition of Hitler? He was just glaring, he was just looking with large eyes towards Jesse Owens and Lois Long. Lois shook my hand hard, and Lois shook the good handshake. And it was not a fake smile with a broken heart, sort of grip, either strong. And Lois Long smiled And it was not at all a smile with a broken heart. At heart, he was not at all feeling envy of Jesse Owens. He was not at all feeling bad because he was defeated, because he did his best performance. But Jesse Owens did win. Lance Long was unable to score the gold medal. But still, Lance Long was very happy. This is the real friendship. You could, then Jesse Owens is speaking, you could melt down all the gold medals and cups I have, and they would not be plating on the 24-carat friendship I felt for Lance Long at that moment. Then Jesse Owens is speaking that you would wish to melt all the 24-carat gold medals, but still you can't plate, you can't cover up the friendship of Lance Long. It means Lance Long's friendship was genuine. It was more genuine than 24-carat gold. Pure, genuine, selfless friendship Lance Long was having with Jesse Owens. I realized then too that Lance was the epitome of what Pius T. Coubertin. Who is Coubertin? Coubertin is the founder of modern Olympic Games. I realized then too that Lance was the epitome of what Pius T. Coubertin, founder of the modern Olympic Games, must have had in mind when he said, the important thing in the Olympic game is not winning but taking part. So, here at this time, Jesse Owens was able to recall the founder of modern Olympic game, who he is, Pius Coubertin. This person is the founder of modern Olympic Games, and Jesse Owens is thinking that Coubertin was right. When he started the Olympic game, he had told that winning is not important, participating is important. The important thing in the Olympic game is not winning but taking part. The essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. So, winning is not important in life, but even when you are defeating, but you did the fight well, you did fight very well with the situation, then this is the real thing. And this principle is being said by Coubertin, who was the founder of modern Olympic Games. Understood? So, with this, your unit 2 means complete chapter summary I have told you. You just read it. Still, if you have any doubt, you just contact me, call me and clarify your doubt. Okay? Thank you. Have a nice time.